Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Hi, this is Zairo from Accordia Training. I'm gonna share with you something special. This is basically a game that we have been using. This game is called Grazeville Farm, and this game is by Charted Voyage. You can get the information here, or if you would like to purchase, you can also get in touch with them here at their website. Okay, so basically what we have done, and we've been using this game for a various different types of crowd. We have had this for school kids, we've done this for college students, and up to CEO into the corporate world. So quite a wide variety of audience we have played with. So what I'm going to share with you today is basically how to play the game with a game slide, and then maybe I'll share with you some of our experience using this game with different groups, and as well as some of the questions that we ask at the end of the game. So I'll share with you my slides. Okay, so let's play the game. I'm gonna go through a little bit of the setup. So each box can play between 3 to 5 players. And let me explain a little bit what is inside the box. So we have 50 units of grass, we have 30 cows, and 50 units of gold coins. There are 20 situation cards and 1 gameplay card. Alright, so let me also explain. Ideally, it would be great if you can play on the table. So the photo you see there is an example when we play with 4 players and when we play on the table. Okay, so there is an allocation. If you can see my arrow here, there's an allocation which is what we call the bank. So that is where you're gonna store all the gold coins, the cow, and the grass. There is also in the center, which is what we call the grassland. I'll explain to you a little bit more after this. You should allocate at the center of the table the situation card, and as well as the gameplay card. So ideally this is a guide for you to go through all the 5 steps, which I will explain to you in a little bit. And what the grassland is, the rule is 1 player. So for each player, they will begin with 2 grass inside the grassland. So the example of having 4 players, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that means when you play with 4 players, you will begin with 8 units of grass in the grassland area. So for example, if you play with 3 people, so if you play with 3 people, that means you have 6 units of grass in the grassland area. Okay, so that is your starting point. The other note is 1 cow per player. That means every player begin with 1 cow. So if you can see player 1, 2, 3, and 4, they each have a cow, and they all begin with 1 cow. Okay, so I will explain to you a little bit in regards to these steps, and I'll also show it to you graphically later on. So there are 5 steps, as I mentioned. The first step is graze. Graze means you can take as many grass as you want, and note that there is no particular order, so there's no turn taking when it comes to grazing. It is based on first come first serve basis. Alright, so step 2 is the reward. So reward is you can exchange your grass with gold coin. So you need to have a pair. 1 pair means 1 grass and 1 cow. So you can earn 1 gold coin. Step 3 is the situation card. So each round only 1 player will pick the situation card depending on your turn. So there is a turn when it comes to situation card. There is no turn when it comes to grazing. Now step 4, this is an opportunity for you to buy a new cow if you wish. So 1 cow is 2 gold coins. All right, and step 5 is new grass. So this is when you double the amount of grass that is left inside the grassland area. And then so once you completed step 5, you repeat step 1 all over again. So let me explain to you with a little bit more graphic. So this is the gameplay card. As you can see, the gameplay card indicates all the 5 steps. So step 1, so this is considered as round 1, yeah, for the sake of explaining. Round 1, you begin with grace. Okay, so grace, as I mentioned, it is first come first serve basis. You can take as many grass as you wish. So in this example, we play with 3 players. So in step 1, player 3 taken 2 units of grass, player 1 took 1, and player 2 took only 1 units of grass. Great, so we're done with step 1. Everybody's done grazing. Now step 2, this is where you can get your reward. So remember I mentioned in order for you to get your reward, you must have a pair. So in this case, the pair means 1 cow, 1 grass. So when you would like to get your reward, you have to return back your grass and you will earn your gold coin. Okay, so player 1 took 1 gold coin for player 1. Now player 3 has 2 units of grass and 1 cow. So because I mentioned you can only earn if you have a pair. So player 3 only have 1 pair. So 1 grass returns back to the bank, earns 1 gold coin, and 1 extra grass remain in player 3's farm. Okay, so unless player 3 has 2 cows and 2 units of grass, then player 3 is eligible to earn 2 gold coins. Okay, so that is the reward. Next is the situation card. Step 3 is the situation card. So in this case, player 1 takes the card. This is an example. Due to lack of hygienic condition in your farm, the authorities fine you and pay 1 coin to the bank. So the player 1 must return 1 gold coin to the bank. Now once you're done with this card, discard it in a separate pile. Excuse me. Alright, now we're done with step 3. So only 1 player takes this situation card per round. Step 4, again as I mentioned, this is an opportunity to buy new cow. Since we just started, nobody has enough gold coins to buy new cow. Now we go to step 5. So step 5 is you replenish new grass. So if you notice, look in the grassland area, there's only 2 units of grass. So step 5, you double that up. So we have now 4 units of grass. Great. So now we have just completed round 1. Now, in the case of round 2, you repeat all the 5 steps all over again. So, again, step 1 is grace, and again, it is first come, first serve basis. So player 1 took 1, player 3 took 1, and player 2 took 1 grass. Okay, great. Now, step 2 is reward. So again, you need to have 1 pair to get 1 gold coin. Okay, so player 1 return 1 grass and earns 1 gold coin. Player 3 as well return 1 grass and earns 1 gold coin. And player 2 as well earns 1 gold coin. Okay, step 3. Now this is the most important part because sometimes this can be confusing, right? Now step 3 is situation card. This time, player 2 will pick up the situation card. And again, once player 2 has picked up the situation card and have acted upon the situation card, depending if it's positive or negative, once they're done, player 2 is done, put the situation card in the discard pile and then continue with step 4. Okay, remember step 4 is purchase new cow, and then step 5. Then you will go to round 3. Alright, so that is generally uh, the gameplay, how you play the game. Now, how does the game end? So there are three possibilities. One is when there are absolutely no grass in the grassland. So when the grassland ran out of grass. So which means when you graze for the grass, technically you should leave at least one grass in the grassland to make sure the game continues. So for example, if one of the player picked all of the grass, that means it's game over, start it all over again. Okay, so make sure at least one grass in the grassland. Okay, and number two is when the bank run out of coin. There's no more coins in the bank. This is when the game ends. Or when you have exhausted all the situation cards. So as I mentioned, there are 20 situation cards. Situation cards, half of it is positive and half of it is negative. Right, so now how to win? Each player will count the number of gold coins at the end of each game. So the player with the most gold coins wins. Alright, so remember, it's gold coins, it's not cows. So ideally, this is just an example of how a player may record their scores or their coins. So for example, round one, player one record this person managed to get 2, player 2 managed to get 10, so which is a high score. Player 3 6, player 4 9, and etc. etc. So this is an example on how you can keep track of the gold coins per round. And usually, sometimes at most, we can go up to 3 rounds when we play the game. Alright, so just to give you some idea, and this is generally what we talked about or what we have seen. You can definitely come up with your own if you observe anything that is different from what we are suggesting here. So, some of the questions that we asked in terms of scoring. So, who scored the highest in their community, and how did they make sure they scored the highest, or how did they manage to get the highest amount of gold coin? And who scored the lowest, and why? What was the strategy behind that? What were some of the challenges when they played the game? Is it speed, or is it negotiation? What is it? We also look into what are some of the communications that went through between the farmers. Was there any form of communication between the farmers? Was there any form of agreement? Did they come up with new ideas? Did they, especially when they get a situation card that is negative? If you notice, anybody gave any suggestion while they were playing, and this would be a good thing to observe as well. And also, it becomes part of the discussion later on. Was it fun for everyone, or was the game fun only for some people, especially for those who are winning? Was there a large penalty, or when there was a large penalty from the bank? How was the decision made? I mean, sometimes the amount is not balanced, and sometimes the amount one player will have to fork out more. So how do you make that decision? And if you had the chance to play the game again, how would you play it as compared to your original results? And what was your main goal to this game? Was your goal to, sometimes people forget, they will go for the highest number of cows. Sometimes their goal is to bankrupt the bank. Sometimes their goal is to eliminate the competition. Or sometimes their goal is to ensure that there's some form of collaboration. Right? So these are some of the suggested questions. Definitely you can play around with what you observe and what you have seen from the game. So actually, if I can share with you, let me just fix my screen a little bit. If I can share with you, I played this when my son was 8 and 10 years old, and it was very interesting because sometimes you find debriefing at different angles. So um, my 8-year-old, when we were playing this game, his hands was much faster than the brothers, right? So the grazing time, he always catches the grass first, and of course they only leave he leaves one grass behind just to keep the game going. so he always gets majority of the grass. So first couple of rounds, the elder brother, the 10-year-old he's okay. He's just it's fine. I'm just giving it to my younger brother. But then after a while, you can see his face change a little bit, and you know that this is bothering him. So of course, at one point he just cracked and he started crying. So as a father, this is an opportunity for me to debrief. So I stopped the game and I asked my eldest who's crying. I asked him, "How do you feel?" And he said, "I feel sad. I feel like he's not playing fair." So okay, and I asked the younger brother. I said, "How do you feel now? You see your older brother crying." He said he doesn't feel so good. Then I asked him what are you gonna do differently. So he said, "Now I'm gonna share the grass." So of course they played it a little bit differently as they continued in the game. So that was quite interesting. We've played this not only with different levels of people, we've also played this with different sectors. We've even used this game for English, for teaching English, especially for those who is not comfortable with English. It forces them to communicate and discuss in this game. Even with broken English is fine. I think that were the main objective. It was just building confidence to start to mingle and communicate in English, and I think that was the game made it a little bit more or a lot more comfortable for these guys. We've played this game for multinationals. We played this game for GLCs, manufacturing, corporate, and it really talks a little bit about how do you collaborate. Can you collaborate to meet a certain goal? It could be a shared goal, it could be individual goals, or does it also talk about how do we ensure that there's any form of collaboration? It also talks a little bit about how do we operate within a certain system. Are we operating to support a certain system, or are we operating to go against the system? So really, this game is unique in a sense that it can go multiple direction depending on how you want to play it and how you want to debrief it. We've also had some of our partners who tweaked the game a little bit, and they put somebody as a banker, so that banker had certain amount of power, power to provide loan and power to reject loans, and all sorts of things, all sorts of dynamic that can be done with this game. So I would encourage you to try it, and please share your comment. Please give us a little bit of your feedback in terms of how you played the game and how did you find the game. That would be cool. That would be nice for you to share with everybody else as well. So for your information, as far as I know, this game has made its way um, in I think in Malaysia is definitely one, Singapore, um, I believe in US, in Nigeria, and as well as Egypt. So it has been around and it has been used by a lot of training providers or freelance trainers. So good luck and let me know what you think. So until we meet again, ladies and gentlemen, please stay safe and we'll see you soon. Bye bye.